Good evening, friends of Campus Life. I don't have to tell you what has been going on in our county, in our state, or in our country. You have seen and experienced the racism, rioting, protesting, and more. And while nothing that our team says today will be the cure for any of it, we want to share loud and clear, Black Lives Matter. If you've been around campus life before, you've probably heard your leaders talk about the result of the fall or living in a broken world. Racism and injustice is a result of living in this broken world. People are crying out for all things to be made right, and Jesus came to make all things right. There was a time, or we see stories of him standing up for injustice when he was on earth. There was a time when a prostitute was about to be stoned to death. And Jesus spoke up saying, "If any among you have not broken the law, please throw the first stone." Nobody threw a stone because everyone was faced with the reality that they all had broken the law. Nobody was innocent. If we are going to be like Jesus, we must stand up for those who are facing angry crowds with their hands clenched around fists, or with their fists clenched around stones. We want to acknowledge that while many of us may never fully be able to understand your experience, we choose to stand by you, stand for you, and stand with you in the midst of all that you face. We also recognize that 2 of our schools experienced great loss last night. And though we may not be walking through your halls, we still want to grieve with you. At the end of Monday Night Live, like always, we will be dismissing into small groups and with our schools, and we are ready to answer your questions. And for questions that we do not have answers to, we will look for the answers with you. Many members of the Campus Life community are grieving. We are grieving the loss of safety, the loss of friends, the loss of confidence in leaders, and the loss of so much more. As we grieve, we want to help you do it in a healthy way. If you find yourself struggling, especially with mental health, you don't have to have the right words. Simply let a leader or another trusted adult know that you are struggling. Ask for help, please. In a moment, the screen will go black and silent. We want to provide a space for you to reflect before we proceed with the rest of Monday Night Live. There are 3 ways that I would encourage you to engage this moment. First is that if you love Jesus, pray for justice. The second is that I would encourage you to spend a moment of silence remembering the lives who have been lost. And finally, I want to encourage you to speak out loud the names of people who have faced injustice, whether they have died or perhaps they are people who are still living and continue to face an unfair reality. Would you speak the names of those who are facing injustice? After a minute or so has passed, my good friend Richard will transition us into the rest of the evening.
Good evening, guys, and welcome to another installment of Monday Night Live. As Becky shared with you, we know that this is a trying time right now, but hopefully we can bring you some joy, laughter, and fun in this time. I'm Large and Loud, and the rest of your high school campus life directors are here with me tonight also, and we've got a lot of great stuff in stall for you. first of all, let's check out what Garrett and Glenn have going on. I think they had some sort of a challenge earlier today. Let's see how that all played out.
Man, today we're actually in our game room in our youth facility. So you can check out all our Xboxes. Soon we're gonna have monitors all throughout this platform, and it's gonna be awesome. We got a air hockey table right here. Right now it's got a little bit of stuff on it, but we'll get a couch here. There'll be a switch here. It'll be fun.
We have a foosball table over here.
And we'll have a foosball table over there. But today, this room's awesome, but we're also going to eat a Carolina Reaper. Just a little part of the Carolina Reaper. All right, Glenn and I. We're gonna do it together. All right, so here we go. 1, 2, 3.
My fire. Oh man, I'm on fire.
Oh yeah. It's a little hot.
I'm gonna see you later.
Glenn's out. Glenn's gotta go get some milk. We can't wait for you guys to be here in the game room. It's gonna be awesome. And right now my mouth's on fire.
Does it work or not?
Feel great. I put my tongue. And it hurts still.
Oh man, can you imagine being so desperate that you put a bunch of mayonnaise on your tongue to calm your mouth down? Ooh, that sounds disgusting. Well, Garrett and Glenn, thanks for taking the heat for us. And I don't know about you, but I'm really excited about summer. And I know the summer is going to look a lot differently this year. But I want to show off our new YFC building real quick. I'm reporting live from the office and from our new youth center. But one of the things I'm like really sad about missing out. Oh, my hair looks angelic. Wow. One of the things that I'm really sad about missing out on is going to the zoo with my really cute little nephew and showing him the animals. But actually, I just wanted to show you really briefly. We have kind of our own zoo. If you look in through the glass here, you'll find a wild Craig in his natural habitat. And anyway, you didn't know that was happening, but I'm just really excited. I'm going to show you a brief tour of this YFC new building, and we're going to start with the front porch. We have some really cool seating that we're actually trying to get rid of. So if you are interested in a pew for your bedroom, I would love to invite you to come pick one up. They're right here. They look like this. And feel free to come get one before Ken disassembles all of them. Ken, thanks for all your hard work. Everybody say hey to bus driver Ken. All right. Well, here we are. I want to show you. We're just going to take a quick look inside. Here we are at the front doors. And let's go. This is where you guys will get to come to my wedding someday. Okay, so you come inside, and later we'll look upstairs. But for now, I want to show you this room. Doesn't it look really cool? It'll look way cooler in a few weeks or in 2 days. But this is where we will have club and eat lots of pizza and drink lots of Italian sodas. And I just cannot wait to be here in this building with you before too long. But until that day, I want to remind you about my boys. I guess it's my boys, the Believe It boys. So let's watch a commercial.
Hey, what's up? This is Garrett with Believe It Boys. I'm excited to invite you to come hang out with us on Instagram, YouTube, and if you have an Xbox, we'd love to play some Apex with you.
I'm sorry, baby, gonna have to let you down.
Hey guys, welcome back to the studio here with Large and Loud. Becky, I just want to let you know that I appreciate your live reporting from the office there. I wish I could be there. You really are a ton of fun to hang out with, and I do look forward to being able to spend some time there in the new youth center with you. And how about those Believe It boys, huh? There's nothing better than a bunch of guys sitting around playing video games, hanging out, having fun, and just being able to love on everybody and share the gospel too. I believe that over in Veneta, we have Mandy who has some weather reporting for us. Let's check in with Mandy. Mandy, how are things looking for this coming week?
Hi, Richard. Thanks for thinking about me here in Veneta, and thanks for joining everyone tonight. I'm really excited to see you all here, but make sure that you are chatting with us down in the comments, because that's one of my favorite parts about doing this Monday Night Live thing. It gets a little crazy when I'm trying to film and talk, but I love it. So talk to us, let us know how you're doing, interact about the crazy things we're doing here. But yes, you're right, I am about the weather. It is beautiful out, okay? It's a beautiful day. If you haven't looked outside, shame on you. Open your windows, step outside, get that vitamin D. But let's also talk about where kind of the weather's going. All right, so you'll notice on my handy dandy week chart here, we've got weather. Today, Monday, was pretty sunny. Okay, tomorrow is looking like there's going to be some sun, but also some clouds. So look out for those. Still wear your sunscreen. I'll tell you what, even if it's cloudy, you can get sunburned. Even if you're doing those sunny day activities, like Malia riding horses, you can get sunburned. But if you're doing denim sunny day activity of sleeping, you're probably not going to get sunburned. Unless you're sleeping in the sun, then you might. So put on that sunscreen, okay? Let's get over to Thursday. It's going to be a little more sunny again. Lather up that sunscreen. Friday, though, we've just got some clouds, some cloudy days. That'll be a good time to, do some yard work, make your mom and dad happy, aunts and uncles, neighbors, whoever. It's not as hot, so do that. The weekend is going to get a little more crazy. Some rain possibly, maybe even lightning. I don't know. I'm just going off of what my app says on my phone, to be perfectly honest. Okay, so it's, the time of the show for Larry to come out and sing some how does that? Just kidding. Larry's got some silly jokes for us, though, so let's turn it over to Larry.
Okay, thank you, Mandy. And yeah, I have kind of summer-themed humor here. What did I like most about summer when I was young? No school. What did I like least about summer? What do I like least about summer now? No school. I miss the old gang. I miss seeing the people. What do I like about tubing on the lake? Watching others fly through the air. What do I like least about tubing on the lake? Me flying through the air. Why don't I like to fly through the air? There's no easy way to land. I flop. Why don't I like getting in the water? It's too wet. Why don't I want to get wet? I would probably have to swim. Why don't I want to swim? I'm worn out after about 15 to 20 feet, and I might sink. What's so bad about getting worn out and sinking? Putting the lifeguard to work. The moral: enjoy summer vacations while you still can. There might come a time when they don't seem so fun. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to our commercial.
No audio. We'll test that out. All right. So I'm really excited to show you guys this kitchen. This is where you'll get to pick up all your pizza needs. And then right over here is the game area, which is pretty cool. We have some PlayStation 1s and some GameCubes. Just kidding. We have some Xbox fancies and some PlayStation 4s. And if you're a gamer, you can know what's happening over here. But this man right here, his name is Glennard the Machine Leslie. And we are going to demonstrate to you, because I know you are missing the sounds of an arcade. We're going to demonstrate to you how the professionals play air hockey. All right. I'll warn you, this is very loud. We've got a nice fan base going here. So, all right. By that, I mean there's a fan in the base of the machine. But okay, here we go. Ready, Glenn? Oh! Careful, the pucks really fly. All right, let's see. The first one to score wins. That's how this game goes. We will not break too many windows. All right. Oh, the old man still got it. Oh no. Does anybody else get really stressed out when they play air hockey? That's just me. All right. Oh yeah. All right. You know, I think this might be a draw. Oh, but there's another. Oh no, he's going. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh, my arms are too. Oh no. All right, Glenn, that was a good game. We can't shake on it, but let's we'll do one of these little elbow bonks. Yeah, that's how you do it in Corona 2020. All right, back to you, my friend Richard.
Thanks, Becky. And Glenn, I'd like to congratulate you on beating Becky in air hockey. I gotta say, I didn't think that you still had it in you. Speaking of Glenn and not having it in him, let's check in with him out with the kids playing some lawn darts.
I don't lawn darts.
Lawn darts? Yeah, they are.
We gonna challenge
You want to challenge me?
Yeah.
You and who?
me.
And her? Challenge me in lawn?
And you.
And me. Want
But-
to challenge me? Well, I got 3 darts here.
But
Okay, let's do this. So you have one. You have one. Smith. And I have one in the seat down there where that. I'll show you. Stand right here. The goal is to get it up,
and
and in. Okay? So we gotta. Yep. Here we go. So I'll let you guys stand right here, and I'll stand back here. And will you do yours first? Go ahead. Go ahead. Who wants to do it first? Okay. Go try it. Oh, that's so close. Okay, my turn. Here we go. Oh. Should we do it again? Okay, let's do it again. Get mine. Come up here. Just come up there and grab it like that. And when you go, you let go. Yep.
I will do how you because you
Do it. Oh, good job. Your turn. Okay. This time, I'm going to do it. I love summer. Just hanging out in the sun, playing in lawn darts. Hey, look at the people I play with. Pretty cool? Are you ready? Go ahead and do it. You can go further if you want.
Oh yeah.
Right there. There you go. Go. Oh! Go ahead.
If you
Oh, so close. You ready for this?
yeah.
Oh! All right. We're having fun in the sun. Hope you guys join us. Hope you have fun in the sun too. See you later.
Who needs an intro?
Made my way upstairs, walking fast, gotta catch my breath now. You guys know that song? Well, I made my way upstairs and here we are. Just wanted to show you a little bit of when your campus life director says that they are in the office. This is probably where they are. So over here we have some cubicles. If you look tall, you can see Larry sitting in one of the cubicles. And then we'll come this way. I've learned how to build a shelf, so that's kind of cool. I've made this shelf. And if you hear that Glenn is at the office, it probably looks like this. He likes to sleep a lot, you know. And then we come over here. This is where our workstations are. Coffee, because that's important when we're working with high schoolers. And we'll come over here. Leticia, I know that it was mean to joke about the GameCube, but I guess you'll just have to intern with us so you can play the GameCube that's hiding upstairs. So anyway, that's all that we have upstairs. That's kind of the gist of this building. It's kind of fun. But I have the opportunity to get to know your campus life directors because I work with them and I get to spend time with them. And I know that a lot of us are sad that summer won't look the same as it usually does, but I want to give you the opportunity to get to know your campus life directors a little bit better as we share some of our favorite things about summer. So we're going to hand this over to Glenn, and he is going to lead us through a series of questions. Over to you, Glenn.
Hey, thanks for showing me the office and also for that hockey game. Was that a game? I forgot. Anyway, so summertime is here. There's some favorite things that we've done and not, and I'm going to give each one of our directors a chance to answer some questions. The first one is the favorite summertime activity. What is your favorite summertime activity?
Well, I can go ahead and work on that one. In spite of my earlier humor, I love Sky Camp and I love the high school road trip. I may not be able to do everything, but I enjoy being out there and being a part of it. Also, my summers are a lot less structured, and I like that. I am not one that likes too much structure. I like it more relaxed. So anyway, that's where I'm at on enjoying summer.
I gotta say, Glenn, I'm with Larry. I enjoy our road trip, and I enjoy Sky Camp a lot. I just enjoy camping in general. I enjoy hanging out with my kids here at home. My kids are part of 4-H, and summertime is wrapped up in a lot of their 4-H projects and the fair, stuff like that. It can be a little bit stressful, but I enjoy it at the same time. I enjoy seeing them be able to be proud of their projects, the things that they've learned, what they've been able to do, and just showcase themselves. That's a lot of fun. I enjoy that.
Yeah, one thing I really enjoy about summer is being able to swim. I enjoy that. I love swimming.
Cool. That's all good stuff. I like it. So another question here. What are the most sad? You ready? What are you most sad about missing out on this summer? Girls.
Well, I'm really sad about not getting to go to camp. Every summer since like 5th grade, maybe 6th grade, I've gone to at least 3 weeks of summer or 3 weeks of camp every summer. And this is the first year in a long time that I don't get to go to lots of camp. And so I'm just as sad as you that we're going to miss out on that. I also am sad to miss out on some camping. And I'm also sad to not have barbecues with all my friends and ribs. I'm really sad to miss out on the ribs this summer once again. Mandy, what are you sad to miss out on?
Uh, I'm sad about missing out on a lot of stuff too. Becky, I think that you know the secret to those ribs, but we'll save that for another time. I'm really sad about camp. I do love camp so much, and also swimming. It's very possible that our local swimming pools aren't going to open, and I love swimming and going with my family and doing that and seeing actually a lot of students there, which is cool, at the pool. And I'm going to miss that for sure.
Yep, those are some fun times. You can always get a hot tub and go around in a circle, floating it if you want. That would be interesting. So our next one is, what are you most looking forward to this summer, given what we've been through now?
I'd like to chime in on that one first, Glenn. So like I mentioned earlier, my summers are usually pretty packed. There's not a whole lot of free time that I have in my summers. Usually every weekend through the entire summer is booked out about 7 or 8 months in advance. This year, with things changing, our summer is freeing up a lot. And I'm looking forward to taking a road trip up to Montana to see some family friends that we haven't been able to see in about a year or so. It's been since they've been down here. So I look forward to going out to Montana and seeing Mark and Becky and hanging out with them. That'll be a good time this summer.
And for me, I'm just looking forward to the face-to-face time, actually with the youth again. In fact, in Cresswell, this coming Friday, we are going to be going Frisbee golfing with a number of the high schoolers. And as the guidelines get more favorable, we can do more and more things, and just face-to-face, I miss that.
How about you, Garrett?
Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna miss being face to face in the parks. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. A lot of stuff that we're looking forward to, and we'll see how it works out for us on another one. Richard, you've already answered this, but this is for the girls. Where would you go on a road trip this summer to?
Okay, I'll answer that one because we've been waiting, my family, for things to kind of open up and come back to normal somewhat so that we can do a couple road trips. As most of you know, baby Jesse is he's going to be 7 months old in like a week. It's insane. But he has been not able to see a lot of family during this time. And we don't want him to forget them, and we don't want him to not be able to know his grandpa or his grandma or his aunts and uncles and everything. So we would love to do a road trip up north to Washington to visit family, and then down to Nevada to visit family.
Well, the most important thing about road trips are the snacks. So I choose Cliff Bars, Coca-Cola vanilla. Tell me I'm wrong. And then these guys go to Costco. If you don't have a Costco membership, give me $9. I'll go get them for you. These are white chocolate lemon covered almonds. I have rarely tasted anything that delicious, except for the ribs that just microwaved in the microwave. Okay, but if I were to road trip anywhere, I would fly to Portland, Maine, and then I would drive in a car, because that's what road trips are. I would drive all the way down, hit all of the East Coast places. What are those, the states? Did you know that you can fit 4 Rhode Islands in Lane County? That's how tiny Rhode Island is. Anyway, I would come all the way down the East Coast, and then I would land over in New Orleans, Louisiana. That would be my dream road trip. So if anybody wants to donate to my GoFundMe, I'll send you the link. Glenn, any more questions?
I got a couple more questions. For one, can I go to New Orleans with you? No. Okay, great. So this next one is, what was the most difficult thing you've ever had in a summer? What was a difficult experience that you've had during a summer? And that's for anyone.
I'll jump in. As I mentioned, my kids are in 4-H. We have animals. The reason that we're able to have those animals is because we have a small farm outside of Cresswell. The downside to having a farm and the upside is you've got well water, because well water tastes way better than city water. The downside to summer on a well is if you leave the hose on, you run out of water. So a challenge that we've dealt with during the summer is running out of water occasionally. And that's no fun.
I'll go, because when I read this question earlier, I had something come to mind right away. And it's kind of the first thing that popped into my head. That was kind of a tough experience during the summer. Growing up, my brother and I would go and visit my dad and his side of the family in Nevada, because my parents were divorced. And one summer, I think it was 8th grade year, maybe. So a little younger than all you. But my brother and I made the decision that we didn't want to go to visit my dad that summer. And so we had to call and tell him. And my dad had struggled a lot with alcohol, and we just didn't like it, and we didn't want to be around it anymore. And we wanted better for him, but we couldn't be there during that. So we had to call and tell, and I was so distraught I couldn't even make the phone call. I made my brother do it, who's 2 years younger than me. But that was kind of a really tough summer situation.
I can go ahead. One thing that comes to mind actually dates me a bit. This was back in 1972. I was in the military. I took a leave and went to Europe. And traveling around there, being military, I could fly on military planes. I flew into Greece and just went into the terminal with the air crew and didn't even think about customs. When leaving the country, I ended up going north by train up through Yugoslavia. I got to the border and I had no visa. And it was all kinds of problems when I did not speak Greek and they did not speak English to explain how I got into the country without a visa. So anyway, that's one of my more challenging things.
Well, Garrett, did you want to go? I'll let Garrett go. Okay, I'll go.
Okay,
so
yeah,
one
so,
of the go ahead.
Yeah, one of mine, which was similar to Mandy's, is family reunion. Sometimes they get sticky from different sides of the family. When all families come together, it can be kind of difficult sometimes. So that was some summers, more than others, get to be difficult around family time.
Yeah. Well, first, before I answer the question, I'm going to show you my ribs and potatoes, proving that I don't have to be married to have ribs, Richard. Anyway, but aside from that, I think a really difficult time when I was in high school, I was in leadership in like student government, and we had learned a lesson that was about being a servant leader, which sometimes means taking a step back and not always being the person in front. Or the loudest person. And if you know me, I really like to be the person who's in front and really loud. And so all my coworkers are nodding behind the scenes. But anyway, so I was really wrestling through, what does it mean to be a leader? And what does it mean to be a servant leader? And what does that look like? And so I spent from the end of the school year until through July really wrestling with who's my identity if I'm not supposed to be loud? Because that's how I had interpreted this lesson. And I just thought that I needed to take a step back from everything. And so I really like wrestled with kind of my identity. And then I went to a leadership camp that was up in Northeast Washington. And I remember there was a very specific moment where everything changed for me. And I was walking up the stairs, it was almost dinner time, and to the right was a group of people who were sitting around with a guitar and just having a good time together. And then the other side, I could go sit on a bench by myself and wait for dinner. And I was about to go sit and just wait by myself because I bought into this lie that I wasn't worthy of being like known, that I shouldn't be sharing my loudness. I bought into all of these different lies about who I was. But then they all yelled over, they're like, Becky, come join us. And it was in that moment I was reminded and encouraged that no, like people do want to be around me. And so I don't know if you've ever experienced that where you're like, man, oh, sorry, low battery. I don't know if you've ever experienced that where you are like, I don't know, like if anybody even wants to be around me, but I promise you that somebody does. And so that is something that was really difficult that took me a whole summer to overcome. Glenn?
All right. Yeah, that's some tough stuff that we go through, isn't it? Let's switch it out here a little bit. This is for everybody also. Have you ever experienced God during the summer? And if so, tell us about it.
One thing that comes to mind for me is it's a number of years ago now, but I went to one of the Forest Service lookout towers and spent the night up there, top of the mountain, and it's just beautiful. Looking at all of God's creation. I didn't have the distractions of being in the city. I didn't even have city lights. There was not even cell phone service up there, so I had no distractions. And it just gave me time to reflect. And I about froze that night. It got very cold, but it was a very good time when I got to be close to God.
A couple years ago at camp, there was somebody who was helping out in the kitchen, and through the course of the week, I had a conversation with her. She had committed probably a month and a half prior to camp to come out. And the couple days before camp, she started waffling. 3 days before camp, she decided she wasn't going to come at all. And then the morning that we were supposed to be leaving, she got up that morning, and for whatever reason, she decided to throw all of her clothes in a bag and show up where she was supposed to be meeting to come out and help for camp. And I watched her heart change in the course of that week at camp. I saw a hard shell fall off, and she ended up accepting Jesus over the course of that week. And I remember sitting up until 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning with her the night that she accepted Jesus, out in it was at Sky Camp. We were sitting out in the common area with a bunch of other people and just having conversations with her about who Jesus is and what it means and what next steps are. And I would say that's probably been my most memorable experience of seeing God, experiencing God over the summer.
I think one of the experiences that comes to mind for me is there's a passage in Ephesians, or what a guy named Paul, he wrote this, and he talks about bringing things to the light. I don't know if you've ever done anything in darkness. Maybe you hid in your room from something that you did that you're like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. And so you go and you hide. But I remember really wrestling with some sin. And in high school, they were talking about the importance of telling people that you trust and that care for you about the sins that that you've done, some bad decisions you've made. And I remember telling my cousin at campfire about some sin, and I was really fearful that she was going to judge me. I was really fearful that she would think less of me. But she reminded me about the grace of Jesus and that there is not a single bad decision that I could make that would make God love me any less. And so it was then that I realized, like, okay, Christians aren't all out here to judge me or to tell me that I'm wrong or to tell me that I'm bad. But my cousin really taught me that Christians are supposed to share the grace and love of Jesus. And so that was really encouraging to me, and I've strived, to do a similar thing. God taught me that about Himself, that He loves us, and won't love us any less for the decisions that we've made. Garrett, what about you?
Yeah, no, I've seen God definitely at work in the summer. One experience that I had was just last year going to camp. We did a road trip, and I saw a lot of hearts change. Students that I'd been working with for a while change, and I've also seen them grow. And I know God was at work every moment, even through like the craziness and the planning. It was really cool to see that growth and that fruit.
I would say for me, experiencing God is something that is exciting, and I've been blessed to have happen all times of my life, not just during the summer. But for some reason, summer seems to stand out as like huge times when I do see God move and know that He's there. I think it has a lot to do with camps and being away from kind of the routine and out of the thought process of just trying to get through school or whatever it might be. But camps just seem to do something big for that too. And kind of like these other leader friends of mine, I was thinking about some of my favorite memories are seeing God move in you students who are watching and out there, and how He's changed your life. It's amazing to see, and maybe you're not one of those students who we've talked about who God has changed your life yet, but I am confident and know that He can and He will. And it's an exciting thing, and you can maybe have that be your story for this summer. And when someone asks you the question, when have you experienced God during the summer? You'll say, hey, I watched this crazy Monday Night Live thing, and I decided I wanted to learn more about Jesus. So hopefully that can be something that you're going to have in your story. And maybe you, kind of like Becky, are thinking, my sin is so big, the wrong things that I've thought, the wrong things that I've said, the wrong things that I've done, like there's just too much there. But like Becky learned, nothing can separate you from God's love. Nothing. God, the creator of everything, made you and loves you and wants you to have a relationship with Him. And your sin separates you, unfortunately, from that. And sometimes it's that shame of your sin and that guilt that like keeps you turning your back on God. But he doesn't want to be separated from you. He doesn't want to have that sin be in between you and Him. And that's why we talk about Jesus all the time, because Jesus is the answer. Jesus was born on this earth, lived a perfect life, did absolutely nothing wrong, committed none of those sins that we talk about, the lying, the cheating, the stealing, the dishonoring, all the things that we see today. Jesus was perfect. He did none of that like we do. And yet he gave Himself up on the cross for us. Many of you know what the cross is about, and if you don't, it's it was a torture symbol. It was something that they murdered people on. It was an execution. And Jesus chose to go to that end for us. And his life, we've seemed ended on that cross. He died. He really did. He shed his blood because the Bible tells us without the shedding of blood, there's no forgiveness. And Jesus wanted us to be forgiven. And so he did that so that we could be. Every single person, not just the good ones, not whatever that means, not just those who go to church, not just every single person, even our worst enemies, which is hard to fathom sometimes, but Jesus died for them. Jesus died for you. The murderer, the thief, the adulterer, every single person. He took all of our sin on him when he was on the cross, and he died. The cool part of the story, I mean, if that's not cool enough already, that Jesus wanted to forgive us, is that he's alive today. He didn't stay dead. When they took him off the cross, they buried him. They rolled a stone in front so no one could, steal his body like they thought might happen. But Jesus is God, and he's so much bigger, and he conquered death, and he conquered evil, and he can do that again in your life. He wants to help you to defeat that sin. He wants to help you to say no to temptation. And if you would just call on him and choose him, then that's what he would do. It's so simple. It says so many times in the Bible, believe on the Lord Jesus and you will be saved. Trust in him, choose him, and you will be saved. It's a promise. It's not maybe. And it's also not believe in Jesus and do this or and do that. It's believe in Jesus and you will be saved. Trust in him with your life and he will save you. And it's an eternal salvation. It's a saving that's forever. It's not like you're saved until you mess up again. No, like you will never leave the palm of God's hand. You are his forever when you make that choice. And he's going to be with you. It's also not going to be a walk in the park. It's just not. I knew Jesus as my savior when I had to make that tough decision to say no to my dad. It was a really hard time. I was bawling. I couldn't even talk, but Jesus got me through it. Jesus walked with me. He was sitting there beside me, and my brother on my mom's bed as we were making this really tough choice. And, there's a lot of tough things going on right now in this world. And guess what? Jesus is going to get us through. And if you don't have that hope, we want to offer that to you. We want you to know that you can. All you have to do is call out to him, believe on him, admit that you've sinned, trust that he's saved you from that, turn away from it and walk with him. I know it seems like it's too good to be true, too easy, but it's not. He didn't want to make it hard. He wanted it to be simple for you. And he loves you more than you can even imagine. Us leaders, we've all made that decision and our stories have all looked so different. But one thing is true for all of us is that we have joy in the midst of hardship. We have peace and we have hope, and we want to share that with you. We are going to go into small groups and we want to talk with you more about this. We want you to ask questions. We want to ask you questions. So be ready because as we are open with you, we want you to be open with us. So be looking in the comments for those small group links and know that we are excited to do life with you. We're excited that maybe this summer is going to be your story of when you experience God, if you can't think of another one. So I'm going to pray and then we'll turn it over to Richard. God, thank you so much for this mode of technology and being able to meet together, even in the hard times. God, thank you that you made a way. You sent Jesus and he saved us. Thank you, Jesus, for what you did on the cross. Thank you for rising again so that we can have new life in you, that we don't have to be separated because of our sin. Thank you for bringing joy and bringing hope and bringing peace, even in the storm, even in the times that are so hard. We think that we can't make it through. And that's because we can't make it through without you. Thank you for being with us. God, I pray for every single person who is listening, who is watching right now, that you would bless them, that you would speak to them. God, this is a tough time. We need you. And I ask that you would move this summer. I pray all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Hey guys, I just want to thank you for coming out and joining us tonight. It's been a great time. I'm glad that y'all chose to spend this hour with us. Like Mandy mentioned, look in the comments below for links to small groups. This has been a Campus Life production, and this is Large and Loud and all the rest of your Lane County High School Campus Life directors saying goodbye. We'll see you next time.